Hey there, YouTubes. This is Grimweird coming back at you with more MC Eternal playthrough action. One of the things, I've got so much stuff that I want to do, make a mob farm, do this, do that, but I'm sort of getting sick of being pushed around by some of these Fish's Undead Rising monsters and, some of these yellow bosses and whatever. So I wanted to make myself a little bit tougher. So I decided, and I've also, never been able to use Construct's Armory for the Tinker's Construct armor. So I was psyched to learn a bit about that. So I have. I figured it out a bit. So basically, what we're looking at here is that each piece of armor is made up of a core, a plates, and a trim. So one of each. Um, the durability is the adding of these three green colors, and then there's a modifier here that raises it or lowers it, I guess, if it's negative. And then also, it changes based on what your armor piece is. And I don't know the exact formula, but basically, higher total durability and the higher modifier, the better. And then the defense plays into what the armor rating actually is. And then toughness is, if we look at here, so that 8 would be the defense, is affected by the defense, and then that 2 for the armor toughness would be affected with the little diamond chestplate symbol would be the toughness. So defense 8, toughness 2, or those would be the factors that affect it. So most stuff has a toughness of 0, which is fine. And most stuff has a pretty low defense. So I basically just looked through all the materials here to find some combinations that I thought would be good and that we can make this early in the game. Um, One of the things I was interested in was Fluxed Electrum. You can see it's got a modifier 50, durability 20, durability 22. So this is basically some of the highest level stuff in the game. And Fluxed Electrum isn't too bad. It's basically just redstone and electrum to make that. So as we can see over here, I actually was able to make some of that. And I just did a trial run of one thing because the thing that worried me about it was that while I could make it, if we take a look at Fluxed, when I click on these to try and print it out, there's no casting table here. There doesn't appear to be a way to actually dump it out. And as I feared, and the reason I only made one of them was I can't get this to actually pour out into a mold. So it is turned off for Tinker's Construct. So that would explain probably also why there's no stuff listed here for the ability for Fluxed Electrum. So the next one I also looked at was Demonic Metal. So Demonic Metal has a really good defense. This is up near the top of where defenses can be. It has a crappy durability though. It has a great modifier on the plates, which is good, but also crappy durability. So if you make all demonic metal, if we take a look here, and we mouse over it, it's got a durability, the chest piece has a durability of 3,229. Now I'm not sure if that's similar durability to this has a durability of 528. I don't know if these are equivalent. I don't know if the Tinker's Construct durability is equivalent to the vanilla Minecraft durability when it comes to armor wear. So that's one thing I'm a little worried about, because if we take a look at some of the other stuff here, like Osglow glass is a really high-end thing that we can't make yet, but it's got a durability of 77,744. So obviously it's pretty durable. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I went ahead and decided to just go for it. What the heck? So when we look at Demon Metal, I can sort of show you how that works. You may have heard me in earlier episodes mention that I was interested in possibly getting some demon metal to try out, but I hear the nether is sort of beastly here, so I didn't want to necessarily charge into the nether looking for netherrack and nether bricks. So I was watching in the overworld for places where we could pick up some netherrack and nether brick, and it turns out that this dungeon here, whatever it is, this red stuff here with the lava and etc., that was made out of nether brick. So when we were running around down there playing with our dragon, um, I was able to snag some. And if we just basically take some gold, we take 8 nether bricks. I think you need the corners. You could try it with 4, but I think you actually need the whole 8. I had 8, so I used 8. I put some lava in there, and basically you just toss gold in, boink, and it comes back out as demon ingot. So basically, this is gold armor, as far as I'm concerned, which isn't that expensive, especially in an ice and fire pack where you can actually get tons of gold from dragons once we're actually tough enough to go clean them out. So you can see I've made some, you can just throw it in here and make molten stuff. You've got your casts. You can make stone pieces for this stuff over here in your table. So you can make a stone chestplate core, stone legging core, yada yada. And then pour gold or aluminum brass or what have you on them to make the casts. And then we make our demonic helmet cores or whatever. So to go with that, and also important to note is that the core is what you use to repair it. And so this is going to be repaired with demonic shards, not necessarily ingots. I don't think you can use ingots, but I did also make a shard cast so that we could pour out a bunch of shards. Go sleep real quick. Again, I'm a little worried about how durable this armor is going to be. But we shall see. If it gets destroyed every fight, that's going to be burning through way too much gold. So this may be a waste. But basically it's only taking me, if I swap out this for something else, swap out the cores for something else, assuming I can do that, I'm going to be wasting like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 gold for this little experiment, so not too bad. So the next thing we got to worry about is plates. Because the durability is so crappy on demonic metal cores, even though it's got a high defense, we really wanted to get good durability, combination of durability and plates here. And we also want to get some decent abilities on there. And I may have failed in that. So if I look here, this demonic chest plate has a durability of 3,229. And if I'm trying to use dark armor plates and steel armor trims, I think I'm getting considerably less than that. So here I've used the, if we go to here, I've used a demonic core, steel armor trim, blah, blah, blah. And this durability is only 1632. So I might have to go back and make some demonic armor plates for this. If we take a look here, what I was hoping for was if we go to dark steel plates, it has much higher durability and much lower modifier, but I was hoping the combination of these two would work out okay in my favor and not so much. But I was really interested in getting this additional protection from magical attacks. So basically each piece of armor I think is 10% less damage from magical attacks or withering. So if I have all 4 pieces, that would be a 40% decrease in damage. So I was interested in trying that. But if it doesn't work out, well, that's going to suck because I did waste a bunch of obsidian to make this dark steel plates, but I can always get more. Just takes time. And then lastly, we need to get some trim. And again, I was thinking about using a paper trim or a chocolate trim just to get extra modifier slots, but I eventually went with steel. And the reason I went with steel was, where is steel? Iron, steel. Is this Indomitable? Indomitable gives, I forget what it is. It's something like a 10 or 20% increase in your defense and your toughness. Now, currently, this armor that I'm proposing to make here has toughness 0, but you can polish it. So if you consider toughness sort of like tools mining level, and you can take a sharpening kit and put the mining level of, say, obsidian on a wooden pick. Well, that's the same thing with toughness. So for toughness, if we take a look here, steel has a great toughness, so I could have just used steel plates and got myself some decent toughness. However, the modifier and the durability is for crap, so they would have broken way too easy. So if we look through here, there's all sorts of stuff in here, yada, yada, yada. Most of it is 0. Occasionally there's a 1 or 1 point something or less than 1. But if you circle through all of this stuff, oddly enough, where is it? Sponge. So sponge has a toughness of 2.25. So what we're going to do is we're going to, well, first off, can you get sponge? And the answer is sponge drops from Elder Guardians. I'm not going to go fight an Elder Guardian because screw that. So what else can we do? We can also get here a dried sponge from the shop, and it's only 100 coins each. So by buying 4 sponges, we can make sponge polishing kits. And let me just double check. Oops. The polishing kit. Don't do that. Please, thank you. Okay. The polishing kit is material cost 2. So basically I'm going to need 8 sponges for 4 polishing kits to polish my 4 pieces of armor. So that's going to be 800 coins. But I have 3,600 coins, and that's going to put basically max toughness on there. And then I'm hoping that the Indomitable from the steel armor trim is going to raise that toughness even more. And so then we should be in good shape for armor toughness. So the only thing stopping me really, I got a nice preview window here. That's cool. It takes on mostly the form of the plates, or I mean the trim, it looks like. Is that the trim or the plates? Dark armor or... I don't know. Anyway, it looks reasonably cool, bulky. The only thing that's really stopping me from pulling the trigger is I'm a little concerned about the low durability. I guess we're just going to do it and go for it. I got 3 modifiers. So what I'm going to do with modifiers is I'm going to put resistance on them. That's going to take up 1 slot. And then I will probably might try and reinforce them, especially since it's going to be so weak. We'll see. Do I pull the trigger? Yeah, let's pull the trigger. What the hell? presumably you can do the same thing that you do with the tools, which is change just the one piece out. So again, low durability. If it's 1-for-1 durability with diamond, I'm not too worried about it, because it's going to be more durable than diamond armor. But okay, anyway, here we go. So boots. And we want legs. Throw that all on. Take this off. All right, not too shabby. Sort of silly looking, but most armor is in this game. I'm going to go ahead and put this away. Alrighty. And if we look through here now, we have got 4.32, 10.79. So we've filled up the little bar down here all the way with the initial silvery looking one, and have 3 on top of that. So we got plenty of stuff going on there. Now we just need to make sure that we can make the polishing kit. Let's see, so let's just double check this one more time before I spend the cash on it. Now see, I'm a little bit worried here because if I were to make a polishing kit out of, say, black quartz, would the recipe show up there? Okay, so there's only this here. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll start with just buying 2. So we're going to go sponge. And we're going to buy 2. Accept. We got 2 sponge. And we got a sponge kit. And then we're going to go, I think, is it here? Or is it here? It must be here. And we're going to take off my armor. Go here and go bang. And then bang. And do we also need a flint or something? We might need a flint or something like we do with sharpening kits. That's just a guess. If this doesn't work, I will read up on that. Alright, not so much. Go sleep real quick. Need to move my bed. Alright, so modifiers, polished. Every armor, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you need sand. Okay, so the polishing kit and the sand. I can do that. I think I noticed that before and forgot. So we're going to go bang, bang, bang. Alright, so now we're going up to a 2.25 toughness. Alright, so I don't think the Indomitable is affecting the improved toughness. So if we take a look here, we go sponge, polishing. Alright, yeah, so 2.25. So the trim, the Indomitable only does the inherent toughness. It does not help the whatever. but that is still pretty darn good. 10.79, 2.25, as opposed to 8 and 2. So we are considerably better than diamond chestplate now. And we have shielding and indomitable. And we can now put some modifiers on it. And eventually, if we can level it up, which I don't know, the leveling is so slow and whatever, however this mod pack is built, I don't know how quickly we're going to get to 30,000 XP on armor. That may be a fool's errand. But let's go ahead and finish this up. We're going to buy 6 more sponge. Accept. We're going to grab 3 more sand. Make 1, 2, 3 more of those. Alrighty. Bang. And now another thing I'm thinking about here, so we got modifiers. I just remembered the other modifier I was thinking about using. So modifiers, speedy, movement speed, I can get movement speed other ways. I'm not going to worry about that. Resistant, reduces damage from all attacks. Requires only 1 modifier, so that's key. There's multiple levels, but it requires only 1 modifier. I'm guessing there are like 5-ish levels. There might only be 4. This resistance, I can make those. If we take a look here, we go at construct resistance. So these are the ones you can make. Each armor can have either resistance, which is general overall resistance, sort of like protection or whatever that is, and then fire, and then projectile, and then blast. And they are added by armor pieces. So the best way to really cut overall damage on the whole is to have as much resistance as you can put on all 4 pieces. It's tempting to go fire just to help me with dragons, but there are potions that can give me fire resistance, so I think I'll hold off on that. So yeah, we're going to make these. So I'm not going to make them right now. I've got plenty of iron. I need to go get myself some more lava and pour it out and make more obsidian. But we're going to need about 4 or 5 of these. So that's going to be 1 modifier slot. And then we're going to pass on the other resistances since they're not compatible. I think I'm going to go ahead with a diamond using 1 slot. It's single use, so 1 diamond. It's minor armor and toughness increase and gives extra durability. I might have to just go with that. That would be 2 of 3. So reinforced, obviously I would love to make these unbreakable by putting 5 levels of reinforcement on it, but I'm just not going to have it. So I might have to just put 1 level of reinforcement. Because I think you actually need, see, it doesn't say requires only 1 modifier. So I think like the tools and weapons and whatnot, to actually get, this is 20% chance of not taking a durability hit per modifier, and I would need 5 modifiers to make it unbreakable. So we might use, this might be our 3rd thing that we do. Mending moss, I can just repair it. Basically it takes half a gold per repair material. Half a gold turns into a demon metal shard. So that isn't too horrible. Sticky would be sort of nice. Shulker weight just makes you jump better. Don't care. Soulbound does not require a modifier, so we're going to make these soulbound when we have 4 nether stars, but not yet. Concealed doesn't require a modifier. Amphibious is a modifier that can only be put on your helmet. I think we're going to do away with that. There are other ways to help with breathing underwater. Powerful, this takes up 1 spot on your chest, and it can make you increase your attack damage or attack speed. That might be nice. Increase reach distance. I read that this is 2 blocks longer reach distance, which is not that long. In theory, one of these might be good, but I don't think it's going to increase my attack damage or attack speed enough to really make it worth using up a slot. Step height, don't care. Frosty, if you use multiple levels of this, apparently you can walk across lava and it will turn the lava into obsidian under your feet. Or if you're walking across water, it can turn it to ice. Don't care enough. Glowing, don't want to do that. Polish doesn't require a modifier, which is what we just did. Embossment we definitely want to do. We want to emboss this. That will give us the ability of some other armor material. So we're definitely going to want to do that later. So that's about it. Resistant, diamond, emerald, and reinforcement would be the things that I would like to do. Wondering if it's worth... I think for starters right now, I'm trying to decide which I think would be better. I think the extra durability you get from diamond is going to be worth it. And it gives you a little bit of armor and toughness increase, which is always good. Let me pause here and read up a bit more on this. I'm still weighing the, definitely going to have 1 slot be as many levels of resistance as I can put on this thing. So that's 1. That leaves me 2 modifiers. And it'll either be some combination of diamond, emerald, or 1 or 2 reinforcements. So I just got to figure that out. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm reading that diamond will actually give you +2 toughness, which is just fabulous if it's true. So I'm going to just try it on 1 and see what happens. So if we come here, so we're at 2.25, and we're at 26.97 defense. Ooh, 4.25 armor toughness. That is worth it. And that will go up to... Wait, okay, so it goes from 809,225 to 9.29425. So yes, please, on that armor toughness. Oh, and I should have checked to see what it did to the durability. Durability is so low on these bad boys that that's going to be probably the downfall if there is one. So here we're going from 432,225 to 496,425. So 10.79 to 12.39. I just think that armor toughness is going to be well worth it. on what's happening to the durability. So we're going from 1326 to 1476, so a little bit better. Again, it just depends on how. I don't know if this durability is equivalent to the kind of durability that you see on this. Hopefully it is. So hopefully this stuff won't self-destruct as soon as it gets hit. But there we go. Let's see, these guys, I need to go make stuff for this. So I'm going to take a break for lunch and then come back and make some more obsidian, and then we'll slap resistance on these bad boys. Yeah, so you can see here, I've got a whole stack of stuff there, and then over here, I've got a whole stack of shields there. I'm not exactly sure how armor toughness works. I think it sort of prevents damage from even bothering your armor. So that's going to be sweet. Means that, penny ante type damage, 1 or 2 damage here or there, shouldn't even affect me, is what I think that armor toughness does. It's like a threshold. The damage has to be, enough to overcome your toughness before it even starts doing damage to you. I think. I'll read up on that too while I'm eating lunch. So I'm going to pause here and I will be back and we'll finish this up. Alright, I am back with obsidian, and these resistance ones stack a little higher than I anticipated. I was expecting them to stack to like 4 or 5. They, you can see here down at the bottom of the list there, resistant 8. So they stack 8 per piece. So that is a whole lot of iron and a whole lot of obsidian. But I've got 8 on there and another 3 here. And enough to make maybe, 1 more. But I'm going to have to wait to finish this off until I get some more iron and some more obsidian. But if I'm reading correctly, what resistant 8 means is this is a 2% per level per piece reduction in general damage, like overall damage, all types of damage except for things like starving, drowning, and probably the void. So, blast, magic, fire, projectiles, all the general damages. So 2% per level per piece, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8 is 32. 32 levels of resistance times 2% is 64% damage reduction coming in. So that's going to be pretty nice, I think, once we get this all done. So I'm pretty happy with things there. So yeah, doing well. Still a little worried about the durability. Hopefully, things like things that do big damage, like bosses, don't break my armor, because that would sort of suck. But yeah, I think from here on out, I do have 1 modifier slot left after resistant and diamond. I double checked on emerald. It's going to be a 50% increase in toughness, in durability. My durability is so low, like 1680 on these, it's going to be like another, 840 durability. I'm going to wait and see how much damage this stuff takes before I decide there. If I think that will save this stuff, then I will do it. If I think that it's not going to be that big of a deal, then I won't. And then the other option would be reinforcement. So that's, the normal things like you put on tools and weapons. 20% chance of not taking a durability hit on each attack. And unfortunately, those do not. Each of those levels takes a modifier slot. But I could put 20% reinforcement on these. And the other options is if I decide this is good enough and don't need either of those, I can put myself some power or speed gauntlets to raise the strength or speed of my attacks on my chest plate. I can put aqua affinity, or a version of respiration, I should say, on the helmet. I could put things like that in here. So I'm going to just sort of see how things play out here. Definitely my top priority for the armor at this point is I need a lot more iron. So that's going to be 8 times 4, 32 blocks of iron per piece, and I'm 1.5 in. So yeah, I need a couple of stacks of blocks of iron, and I'm going to need some more gold and obsidian as well. Here's the recipe. So we're going to have like 8 of these per piece, so 32 of this recipe. So that's 2 stacks of obsidian for the whole thing, 2 stacks of blocks of iron for the whole thing, and then a half stack of casts, which I just use the blank cast, but the casts basically cost 2 gold each. So that's a stack of gold. And I have plenty of gold, but I definitely need more iron and whatnot. Iron is pretty easy to get in this mod pack. It seems to spawn pretty well. Again, I did not pick Biomes of Plenty, which I think is the recommended world type. I didn't notice that until afterwards. So I'm just on the default world type. But there seems to be plenty of iron. So, in fact, let's take a look at that. Iron ore. Click on that. So 0.82%. I think that's a 0.82% of spawn chance, and then the veins are pretty large because I think that's a different thing. But you can see that's like, pretty high, all the way from ground level down to basalt. So I haven't had any problems coming up with lots of iron, which is why I was able to get 1.5 of these pieces done so easily. But I am going to need to now go back after it, do some more mining. But yeah, if we take a look down here, we have got 14 of the iron things there. So that's 5, 17, 27, 31. Lots of ironish stuff there, and then also tons of armor toughness. So I'm not sure how good this is going to be. I'm not sure how much damage it's going to take, but it's got to be better than what I was doing. On one hand, I'm tempted to go out and test it out, let something hit me. On the other hand, I sort of want to make sure I get it completely resistant before I take tons of damage on it. Because I don't want to spend a lot of unnecessary materials repairing it when it's not in its final form yet. Let's see. So what else? Still haven't made a mod farm. Still haven't really felt a pressing need to do so. Oh yeah, I got more iron. Nice. I guess I can go ahead and put the 3 that I have done on something. I think I'll put them on my feet. I have a tendency to, when you fall off of something, I think you have a tendency to take damage on the feet more often than not. So we'll go ahead and throw that on there. I went ahead and started on the legs, mostly just because there aren't any special things. There are special things that modifiers you can put on the feet, chest, and helmet for things like respiration, or extra melee attack, or reach, or, frost step, or, water walking, or, crap like that. There are extra modifiers you can put on those, but I don't think there are any extra modifiers on the leggings, but I wanted to see what it looked like, and it looks pretty good. So I've also got shielding, so that's going to help me with resisting magic, which Hopefully that will help out. Magic and withering. Alright. Put some of this stuff away. Oh, I still haven't cleaned out my backpacks, so I've got more crap in them. I don't suppose I've got any iron in them. I doubt it. More dark steel. I sort of overbuilt on dark steel anyhow, though. Alright, so I'm going to finish cleaning things out here, and then I'm going to figure out what to do next. Now that I've started down the road of making this armor, I really sort of want to see it through, which means I might just head back to the mines and mine up a bunch more iron and find some lava down there and make a bunch more obsidian, get some more gold, just so that I can finish this up. So I'm going to pause here, and if we have some runtime left, we will see what the results are. Okay, one more quick aside. I just wanted to verify that this stuff worked the same way as the tools did, where if you wanted to change some of the base components, you could. So here's my demonic chest plate, and it turns out that yes, I just made myself a wooden core, and if I throw that on there, we can change things up. And my toughness stays high thanks to the polished sponge and the diamond, so that stays high, but of course the defense, because I have a different core, drops. The durability does not change, probably because this has the same, yeah, it has the same durability. But anyway, I almost clicked on the wrong thing. Do not do that. So yes, it is true. I assumed it was true, but good thing to check. I can, like let's say I get some Osgo glass. That's going to be a material that I'd sort of like to upgrade to. So if I get some Osgo glass, I will be able to just swap that out there. So, for instance, if I get some of this, so here we have like not only a high defense, which I currently have, but it'll go from a 2 durability for the demon metal up to a 90 durability, and it'll go from whispering, which is like a useless, meaningless ability, up to brown magic, which lets me teleport, and sassy, which increases boss crits, and global traveler, which lets me transport things. I'm not sure how that works on armor, but anyway, this alone, the 90, 22, 27, is really strong. So anyway, that does work. So we are on the right path here. I think everything is looking really good here. As soon as I get the resistant on these and then test it out and see how much durability it takes when I do some combat, and then decide whether to put the 20% reinforcement on it, we should be good to go. Anyway, I'm off to... I'm going to try and mine up the rest of the stuff that I need, the iron, and then we'll come back and finish off the armor and maybe test it out and then call it an episode. So be right back. So I'm down in my ravine mine, digging away. A couple things came up, sort of cool. So I did finally get to comfortable on my slime pickaxe at 20,000 experience. And so I have a new modifier there. So currently I have... 1 level of reinforced, and I have reinforced 4. Alright, so cool. So I should be able to make that reinforced 5. That's going to be lovely. So my days of repairing this thing, so that means this thing should be unbreakable pretty soon. Then when I get to 40,000, I can swap out that writable and put something else interesting in there, something that's better. One thing I want to do is also, as soon as I put this up to reinforced, is I can get rid of the slimy head, which has a poor mining rate. I only have it in there for the massive durability that it has compared to other starting items, and put in something that's a faster mining speed. So right now the mining speed on this thing is only 3.18, which sucks. But that also brings me to mind, so there's this skill tab, which I'm still trying to figure things out exactly. But looking through these, a lot of the things I didn't necessarily want or care about, like agility will do things like, give you some strafing dodges, which I'm not used to. My muscle memory isn't up for that with Minecraft. I'm not used to having it. Increase my movement speed on grass paths. I'm not a grass path fan. Step assist, not interested in that. So a lot of this stuff I wasn't that interested in. And looking through it all, some of the ones that stood out with me were the gathering ones. So drop guarantee, enemy mobs will always drop at least one item if applicable. And lucky fisherman, luck increased while fishing. I like to fish. It's sort of a good meditation thing, something I can do while listening to an audiobook or something. So they have requirements. So if we look over here, oh fuck. So something came after me. That surprised me. Pardon my French there. Got a little carried away with accepting the fact that nothing can really spawn because of lighting through here, but something must have spawned far enough away there and then ran in this direction, which can happen. Anyway, so I was talking about this thing. So like for instance here, building, if I hold shift over it, blocks that drop their components such as glowstone will always drop enough to rebuild them. So that's sort of cool, so I might do that. But then you see underneath it, it's got level requirements for gathering 4, which I've met, mining 6, and building 8. So this is basically, I think, a cost in levels to go up, and then this is your level in that. So for instance, to do fishing, to do a drop guarantee, which is the one I'm about to do, I need 8 skill points, which I do not have yet. And then I also needed gathering 20, which you can see I'm at 20. It'll cost me 23 levels to go up to 21. And then attack 8, if we go to attack, you can see I'm at attack 8. It'll cost me 11 levels to go up to 9. So yeah, these so things like here, like defuse, landing a blow on a creeper just after it starts igniting will neutralize it for a few seconds. That's sort of cool. Killing a monster will give you a short strength buff. So I'm not sure how fast you get these. I think you just get these skill points by leveling things up. So I'll just continue to raise things here. I don't want to spend all of my experience, but I get experience pretty fast when I'm vein mining. If we take a look here, I've just been vein mining the snot out of this whole area with my hard to break pickaxe and sucking down a bunch of Pam's food. So when you're doing this kind of mining, when you have a pick that gives you, so here I've got a well established from the copper handle, and so I'm just basically breaking blocks left and right in wholesale fashion. So it adds up pretty quick. And I'm just picking up lots of whatever I got. I don't have enough for iron yet. I had already sort of cherry-picked a lot of the iron out of the walls because I knew I would need it. So that's why I'm doing this sort of big old mining at this moment. Also picking up a lot of this stuff. Electroblob's wizardry actually looks pretty fun, and I haven't played with that before. But those crystals that you get from here. My cave illuminator is being a little slow here. Basically, they act as fuel, I think, for your wand. So these, where are we? These magic crystals Basically, you use those to add mana to your wand for spell casting with it. So I've decided to go ahead and pick up all of that I see. Hey, some emeralds. I think I will go ahead and silk touch these. I need to get some looting underway for breaking some of these emeralds. What am I in? I'm in the savannah and there are emeralds here. So whatever's going on in this pack with the standard world build, it's not one of those emeralds are only in the extreme hills kind of situation like in days of old. And I've blown through a lot of pumpkin pie. Gonna have to go back and make a bunch of boiled eggs or something. So I'm unfortunately not gonna quite be able to get done with everything here. Pick this up. Getting enough crystal that might be worth looking into starting an AE system sooner rather than later. On one hand, the monsters and the Fish's Undead Rising and some of the other mods here are making the combat with critters a bit more exciting than I'm used to. However, a lot of the stuff that I've been used to with the expert packs, like really hard recipes and gated content, isn't as bad in this. So that is giving me the opportunity to possibly get into something like an applied energistics inventory system sooner than I'm used to. So I should probably take a look at that. Haven't been seeing a lot of Certus quartz, so that's one problem. But at least to get started, I may not need a whole bunch. Alright, I'm running low on food, and I want to go upgrade my pickaxe. So I'm going to go ahead and hit home. And here we are. Reinforcement. So I need another 2 gold for another blank cast. Can't remember if I've got any gold left in here. I do. Bang. And I should have plenty of that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and heal this up to full. Probably doesn't matter. So when I put one more reinforcement on here to make it reinforced 5, it should go unbreakable. If I go unbreakable now, it will have it'll be unbreakable with a durability of 238 instead of 822. I don't think that really matters. I think the only time it matters is if you go unbreakable and you're using one of the things where you do more damage on a weapon if you are very low in durability. Sometimes I think you can freeze. Hey, unbreakable. Sweet. So that's unbreakable now, which means that, see, I've also got this skill book. I'm not sure what's going on here. Levels available 1. Can't really increase any of that. Oops. I got combat, mining, and crafting. I started out apparently with an original level of 1 in mining specialization. And I have 2 out of 10 stone cutting. I'm not exactly sure how that came across, but in theory I have plus 30% speed in harvesting stone. I don't know if that is like, everything. And also a 5% chance of doubling ore doing harvests. So that's all cool. I want to keep that going. But I need more levels available, and I'm not sure how. Oh, hey. Is that doing it? 22. Oh, yeah, I'm going up levels. Alright, so it is just adding levels from experience. And now if I come in here, I've got 4 levels available. And if I want to look at, say, mining. Yeah, look at that. Oh, and you can apparently take it out too. Or at least can until you're done. Level cost is 3. Alright, well, sort of interesting. So I'll keep an eye on that. See, I do have some uneaten foods here. Should be close to ready to a new bit of health. I should have eaten these things while I was mining just now, but I forgot about them. Food list size. 4 more to get another couple hearts. Alright, so this pick is unbreakable. That makes me very happy. So now with nothing but food, I can completely go nuts, destroying everything in my path. I like that. Although I still, these are leveling slow enough, these tools are leveling slow enough that I need another 30, almost 37,000 to get to the next one, to put looting on it, or fortune on it, I should say. So I might have to look at like a flux borer or something. I've never used one of those, but might have to do that. Let's go ahead and throw some of this stuff up there. Alrighty, so what else was I going to do? That's what I came back for, is more food. I don't think I'm going to get around to finishing my armor. Yeah, need a bunch more iron. That was a good chunk of it, but I need to go get some more. And I took a little bit of damage from that one beastie that attacked me. Didn't seem to do a lot of damage to me, so that's a good test. But I did take a little damage. Which reminds me, one thing I could also consider is instead of putting either reinforcement, I could put mending on these. If the damage comes in slow enough when I have these all buffed up, then mending could be quite a good deal on this. So that is something to think about. Mending moss. Mending moss is apparently not craftable. You can get it out of loot crates. Well, that's obnoxious. Do I have one? No. Should go sleep. Alright, well, I'll look into that a bit more. That is something I could do, is see if I can figure out how to get mending on there. But yeah, whatever that was that attacked me, it didn't seem to do much damage, and it hit me multiple times before I even realized what was going on, because I was sort of overconfident in my lit up area. But I didn't take much damage, so that is good news. And I think I have, yeah, I printed out some shards here. It's way too early to repair these, but just want to verify. Yes. So I have the ability to repair using demonic shards. And you get 2 demonic shards per demon ingot, which is a gold ingot. So half of a gold ingot to do repairs on this armor. All right. With that, let's call this an episode. We're definitely going to play around a bit more, finish off putting resistance on all this armor. I assume that none of this can be enchanted, but let's go ahead and run over here just to verify. You usually can't, yeah. That would be totally OP if you could enchant the garbage. So I wasn't expecting that to work, and it did. I guess one last thing to say is I haven't really looked at the accessories too closely. So if we go up to top here, accessories, you can put night vision goggles. You can put, let's see, accessories. I don't think this takes up a modifier slot. I would have to double check. But you can toggle stuff on and it uses durability, I think. And you can only have 1 accessory per thing. So you can have zooming goggles, night vision goggles. The night vision says it uses up durability. Zoom doesn't. And soul sight. By modifying your goggles with the right items, you can have soul sight instead of zooming. While wearing these goggles, you can see the souls of nearby beings. And that uses durability. I don't know what that means. I wonder if it's like Illuminati, where you can actually see things through walls, or where they glow in the dark, or something like that. For the chest piece, you can have a cloak of invisibility, a knapsack with 27 storage spots, or a cloak that gives you slow fall. For the legs, you can have a belt with some storage on it. Oh, and that actually gives you an extra hot bar. Huh. Oh, and an alchemy belt. This is one that I was sort of interested in. You can store more potions instead of swapping hot bars. Store 7 slots of potions. Potions can stack up to 4 times per slot. You can open it with a key press. I'll have to look at this, if you could hotkey potions in some way and leave them off of your main hotbar, but have a separate bar with hotkeying of potions. That could be super handy. I don't use potions much, mostly because by the time I find them and pull them out and use them, it's usually too late to bother. Anyway, so we can do that kind of stuff too. There was also stuff that does not require modifier slots. So if we go to modifiers, nether stars for soulbound, that's definitely something we're going to want to do once we have some withers. This makes your armor invisible to the naked eye. It's cosmetic. These are the ones that take up slots. Embossment, we got to go get some magma slime before we can do that. So we'll have to head to the nether before we can emboss it. We're definitely going to want to do that, but not yet. All right, so that I think concludes our initial armor extravaganza. I think I'm going to be real happy with this. We've got a crap load of armor. If you look down here above my hearts and food, we've got a crap load of armor and a crap load of armor toughness. So I think we are probably in good shape. So we'll just see how well it holds up and how much gold I have to spend keeping it maintained. Not too horribly worried about that, but I do want to see. The other thing I can do is, I just remembered this is not a expert pack, so things aren't as expensive as I'm used to. So let's take a look at Anvils. Ooh, yes, powered diamond anvil. Oh, that's a piece of cake. The magma anvil is here as well. That's going to require some a nether visit, but heck, I can do this without even visiting the nether. And I can do iron and anvils. So this one you can actually just throw stuff in there and repair it without using up materials. So there, no matter how expensive my cores on my armor are, I can repair them on there, I believe. In Enigmatica 2 Expert, I did this with the dragon scale armor, because obviously you don't want to have to keep killing dragons all the time to repair your armor all the time. And so once I made dragon steel armor, I was able to just repair it with powered anvil. So let's go ahead and I am absolutely positive I'm going to want one of those, so we'll put that on the list. Alright. Remembering that powered anvil was probably in here and doable makes me a lot less worried. So now all I got to worry about is if the durability is good enough to last through a boss fight. And if it is, I'm probably pretty happy. With that, let's call this an episode. I think I've probably rambled on too long, but we now have armor. So the big armor episode has been a success, I believe. And I will talk to you again next time.